We've seen how important this is even in the past few weeks, as communities here in Memphis and all across the South have come together to deal with floodwaters, and to help each other in the aftermath of terrible tornadoes. All of these qualities: empathy, discipline, the capacity to solve problems. The capacity to think critically. These skills don't just change how the world sees us. They change how we see ourselves. They allow each of us to seek out new horizons and new opportunities. With confidence, with the knowledge that we're ready, that we can face obstacles and challenges and unexpected. Setbacks. That's the power of your education. That's the power of the diploma that you received today. And this is something that Booker T. Washington himself understood. Think about it. He entered this world a slave on a southern plantation. But he would leave this world as the leader of a growing civil rights movement and the president of the world-famous Tuskegee Institute. Booker T. Washington believed that change and equality would be won in the classroom. So he convinced folks to help him buy farmland. Once he had the land, he needed a school. So he assigned his first students to actually build the chairs and the desks. And even a couple of the classrooms. You thought your teachers were tough. Booker T. Washington ran a tight ship. He'd ride the train to Tuskegee and scare some of the new students. This is before YouTube and TMZ, so the kids didn't recognize him. He'd walk up to them and say, "Oh, you're heading to Tuskegee. I heard the work there is hard. I heard they give the students too much. To do. I hear the food is terrible. You probably won't last 3 months. But the students would reply they weren't afraid of hard work. They were going to complete their studies no matter what Booker T. Washington threw at them. And in that way, he prepared them because life will throw some things at you. The truth is, not a single one of the graduates here today has had it easy. Not a single one of you had anything handed to you on a silver platter. You had to work for it. You had to earn it. Most of all, you had to believe in yourselves. I think of Chris's stories, and what he's faced in his life, lost his father to violence at the age of 4. Had a childhood illness that could have been debilitating. But somehow he knew in his heart that he could take a different path. I think of all the graduates here who had to leave their homes when their apartments were torn down. But who took 2 buses each morning to come back to Booker T. Washington. I think of Aaron Jacken. Where is Aaron? Aaron has known a lot of setbacks in her young life. There was a period when she lashed out and she got into trouble and she made mistakes. And when she first came to Booker T. Washington, she struggled. Is that right? There are plenty of people out there who would have counted Aaron out. A lot of people who would have thought of her as another statistic. But that's not how the teachers here at Booker T. Washington saw her. And that's not how Aaron came to see herself. So she kept coming back to school, and she didn't give up and she didn't quit. And in time, she became a great student. And she remembered what Principal Kiner told her, you can't let the past get you down. You have to let it motivate you. And so now here Aaron is, graduating. She's going to keep studying to get her barber's certificate so she can cut hair and save for college. She's working toward her dream to becoming a lawyer. She's got a bright future. Everybody here has got a unique story like that to tell. Each of you knows what it took for you to get here. But in reaching this milestone, there is a common lesson shared by every graduate in this hall. And Chris said it himself in a recent interview, it's not where you are or what you are. It's who you are. Yes, you're from South Memphis. Yes, you've always been underdogs. Nobody has handed you a thing. But that. Also means that whatever you accomplish in your life, you will have earned it. Whatever rewards and joys you reap, you'll appreciate them that much more because they will have come through your own sweat and tears, products of your own effort and your own talents. You've shown more grit and determination in your childhoods than a lot of adults ever will. That's who you are. So, class of 2011, the hard road does not end here. Your journey has just begun. Your diploma is not a free pass. It won't protect you. Against every setback or challenge or mistake, you'll make some. I promise. You're going to have to keep working hard. You're going to have to keep pushing yourselves. And you'll find yourselves sometime in situations where folks have had an easier time, they're a little bit ahead of you. And you're going to have to work harder than they are. And you may be frustrated by that. But if you do push yourselves, if you build on what you've already accomplished here, then I couldn't be more confident about your futures. I'm hopeful and I'm excited about what all of you can achieve. And I know that armed with the skills and experience and the love that you've gained at Booker T, Washington High School, you're ready to make your mark on the world. So thank you. Thanks for inspiring me. God bless you. God bless the United States. Barack Obama. Address on Border Security and Immigration Reform. Delivered June 30, 2014. Good afternoon, everybody. One year ago this month, senators of both parties with support from the business, labor, law enforcement, faith communities came together to pass a common-sense immigration bill. Independent experts said that bill would strengthen our borders, grow our economy, shrink our deficits. As we speak, there are enough Republicans and Democrats in the House to pass an immigration bill today. I would sign it into law today, and Washington would solve a problem in a bipartisan way. But for more than a year, Republicans in the House of Representatives have refused to allow it. Up or down vote on that Senate bill or any legislation to fix our broken immigration system? And I held off on pressuring them for a long time to give Speaker Boehner the space he needed to get his fellow Republicans on board. Meanwhile, here's what a year of obstruction has meant. It has meant fewer resources to strengthen our borders. It's meant more businesses free to game the system by hiring undocumented workers. Which punishes businesses that play by the rules, and drives down wages for hard-working Americans. It's meant lost talent when the best and brightest from around the world come to study. Here but are forced to leave and then compete against our businesses and our workers. It's meant no chance for 11 million immigrants to come out of the shadows. And earn their citizenship if they pay a penalty and pass a background check. Pay their fair share of taxes, learn English, and go to the back of the line. It's meant the heartbreak of separated families. That's what this obstruction has meant over the past year. That's what the Senate bill would fix if the House allowed it to go to a vote. Our country and our economy would be stronger today if House Republicans had allowed a simple yes or no vote on this bill or, for that matter, any bill. They'd be following the will of the majority of the American people who support reform. Instead, they've proven again and again that they're unwilling to. Stand up to the Tea Party in order to do what's best for the country. And the worst part about it is a bunch of them know better. We now have an actual humanitarian crisis on the border that only underscores the need to drop the politics and fix our immigration system once and for all. In recent weeks, we've seen a surge of unaccompanied children arrive at the border. Brought here and to other countries by smugglers and traffickers. The journey is unbelievably dangerous for these kids. The children who are fortunate enough to survive it will be taken care of while they go through the legal process. But in most cases that process will lead to them being sent back home. I've sent a clear message to parents in these countries not to put their kids through this. I recently sent Vice President Biden to meet with Central American leaders and find ways to address the root causes of this crisis. Secretary Kerry will also be meeting with those leaders again tomorrow. With our international partners, we're taking new steps to go after the dangerous smugglers who are putting thousands of children's lives at risk. Today, I sent a letter to congressional leaders asking that they work with me to address the urgent humanitarian challenge on the border, and support the Immigration and Border Patrol agents. Who already apprehend and deport hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants every year. And understand, by the way, for the most part, this is not a situation where these children are slipping through. They're being apprehended. But the problem is, is that our system is so broken, so unclear that folks don't know what the rules are.